as of late we've considered problems which deal with array functions, namely transpose and frequency, then different variations of SUMIFs and COUNTIFs, and then more difficult cases of sum product. But now we move on to the hardest part of our formulas, namely a quite difficult case of using array formulas. Here we see, coming back to an exercise we've done before, a case of the SUMIFs formula checks whether the person's sex is M or male, and then sums together all the weights of those men. And now let's look at an alternative way of using array formulas and doing the same thing here. 524 is the result. We'll write equals sum. Now we're summing things together. And now inside the sum we may write an if. And with this if we will be considering the sexes. So let's this time write B3 colon B15, which stands for all those sexes. We want to explicitly show that we're using a block of cells here. We could have just used the word sex as well, but let's use the addresses. And now what we do with this block of cells is we compare. We write equals, quotation marks, male. We compare it to male. And what turns out to be true is that now we have to enter this formula with Control-Shift-Enter, so that it's going to be valid for the entire block. And then it's going to go through the block and check whether it's a male, and if it is a male. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the same block, but now from the weights, which is D3 colon D15. So it goes through all the sexes, checks whether it's a male. If it's a male, it takes the weight, and otherwise we take 0, because then for women we don't take the weights into account. Okay, now we close parentheses and if, and this if works with the entire block all at once, giving the weights of males. And then it goes inside the sum, and since this if works at the same moment with the entire block of sexes, we have to use Control-Shift-Enter to enter this formula. So we write Control-Shift-Enter, and we get 524, the correct answer. And up here we see that the curly brackets are rounding the formula.